Welcome to the newly branded Cindy Show. This is our Cindy Show Power Hour. As most of you may know who've been on here before, it's a bi-weekly learning series designed for an exclusive group of SysAid customers. So each 1 hour session is hosted live by myself. I'm SysAid's Director of Customer Success. I'm here to bring you expert tips, best practices, and support you with a live Q&A to help you level up your SysAid experience. Just a little bit about me. I've been at SysAid for 8 years, been in professional services for the first 4 years, and loving it in the customer revenue team. And I said I would share something new about me every time so that you don't get bored of my introductions. So I'll let you know that I do play the piano. And I don't think any of my team know that, so I'm sharing it with all of you. Okay, so my guest speaker today, I'd like to introduce Alex Jamieson, SysAid's very experienced solutions engineer. I've invited Alex to lead today's demo because of his extensive experience working with customers and exploring Agentic AI. As our subject matter expert, he brings both deep knowledge and a hands-on approach, and I'm really confident Alex's demo will be both insightful and impactful. Alex, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure thing. Good to meet you all. If I haven't met you in the past, my name's Alex Jamieson. I've been here at SysAid for about 4 years. A lot of that time, same as Cindy, I did a lot of implementations, adjustments on current customers' environments. And now I do the same thing. I just lead these webinars instead, and I help prospects in making their decisions as well and exploring SysAid. So looking forward to showing you some of our cutting edge AI stuff today.
Amazing. Thanks, Alex. Okay, so just a little bit of introduction and housekeeping. So I already mentioned that Alex is going to do the demo. You're not only going to be wowed, but I'm confident you'll identify at least 1 or 2 use cases that align with your current business needs. I'm also super excited because I'm launching something new today. So that we'll cover that at the end. So stay tuned for that. That's where it says the conversation continues. And please feel free to ask questions in the chat. My team will assist in answering them. We have our Director of Product, Hilly. She's the one who orchestrated AI and started this at SysAid. She's on the chat today as well. So please ask questions. And of course, my team. And if at any time you'd like to set up a meeting with my team, you can book a meeting. Gavin, if you just want to share the You Can Book Me link in the chat right now, that would be amazing. And as I'm sure some of you know me by now, I'll also be adding a few polls during the session, and I'd greatly appreciate your feedback. And again, just a special thank you to my team, moderators, and to all of you who are taking your time to join me today. Okay, so before I begin, I would like to launch our first poll. Let me just go in. Okay, give me 1 minute because I'm launching the polls today. And let's hope I launch the correct ones. Okay, just want to see if I can make sure. Okay, let me launch the first one and hopefully it's the right one. Launch. Okay, it's the wrong one. Would you like an account manager to contact you? Okay, of course you can reply now if you would like an account manager to contact you. And I definitely am missing Ella, who is the person who usually launches these polls. Okay, I can see a lot of people are responding, so I think lots of you may have a yes. So I guess I'm going to end this poll. Thank you for that. What I did want to ask you is, maybe you can even just reply in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, what is your understanding of Agentic AI? So 10 being the best, what is your understanding of Agentic AI? Are you a 10? Or you're at a 1 or somewhere in between, a -10. Okay, so see, looks like it's pretty mixed. Thank you. Some 10s, which is amazing. Very good. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And I'm sure I'm probably going to post this poll at some stage during the course of the demo. But let's start off. Before we go into Alex's demo, there's a few things that I do want to cover with you. Okay, whilst we're riding the agentic wave, one of the biggest questions, I guess, is what is agentic AI? So at its core, agentic AI goes beyond simple automation. It understands data, reasons with large language models, and makes proactive decisions. So unlike basic chatbots, it adapts, it learns, and takes action to meet specific goals. And always context aware and improving over time. So let's go into the next slide where I go into a little bit more detail to help you better understand. So generative AI and agentic AI equals agentic ITSM. And together they fuel what we call agentic ITSM, which revolutionizes the way we approach service management. So I'm going to break this down into a question for you, okay? Have you ever asked in SysAid's chatbot or SysAid's Copilot chatbot, why can't I connect to the VPN? Because this is something that's our use case in SysAid, right? So it gives you a great answer, maybe even step-by-step instructions. Now that's generative AI in action. You can think of it as the answer expert, okay? So generative AI, which you're seeing here on the slide deck, is all about creating new content, text, summaries, images, and its main job is to give you the best possible answer. Okay. Now, it doesn't copy and paste from an article or anything like that. It doesn't just throw a link at you. It creates contextual custom responses based on information that's presented. It's almost like a very, very smart advisor. It gives you insights. Okay. Now, as you can see, agentic AI, which is what we're going to be diving deeper into today, agentic AI is the action taker. Okay, so here's where things evolve. Right, because agentic AI doesn't stop at giving you the answer. It goes one step further. It acts on it. So if we go back to my VPN issue, instead of just a fix, agentic AI helps you identify the problem, resets the VPN profile, and then comes back and confirms that it is resolved. So another good example could be, and we've done workflows before, but a great example would be for onboarding a new user, for example, in Azure Active Directory. While generative AI might walk you through the steps, which I've already mentioned, okay, agentic AI can actually do it for you. Fill in the details, secure a password as well, and notify the new employee via email. So takeaways from this part, generative AI helps you understand and communicate. We've already said that. Agentic AI helps you decide and act. It's one step further. And combined, they unlock a new level of ITSM, which we call Agentic ITSM. Okay. I'm sure you've got quite a lot of questions, and I see, Hilly, you answering them. So I'm just going to go over to the next slide so we can at least start with the demo soon. But just this slide, and we can share it with you afterwards because you will receive the recording. I'm super excited to introduce, we've got over 40 pre-built AI agents, which if you're using SysAid Copilot, you'll have access to every single one of these. These agents are ready to go, but Alex is going to show you in more detail. And of course, we're going to show you how to create a new AI agent using our AI builder. Okay, so Alex, over to you. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to stop sharing now. But while you're presenting, I'm probably going to give you, probably going to interrupt you with a few questions, and maybe we'll take a few breaks from the when we actually get the chat from the audience, questions from the audience. So I might stop you in between. So Alex, over to you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Cindy.
Pleasure.
Okay, let's start sharing my screen. Now, today the session is going to be about teaching you where we've been with AI and the difference between generative and agentic. We're going to focus mostly on agentic. I'll introduce the common interfaces, show you where we've been and where we're going. And this session is more of a session to stimulate your imagination, less to teach you how it's built. However, I will end with some basics on how to set this up as well. For showing the nuts and bolts and how to set this up within your particular environment, I do host monthly sessions on both generative and agentic AI, one each per month. So if you need some assistance on getting started, you can always contact your account manager and get a link to that booking. So with that, introducing the SysAid interface. Now, I imagine everybody on this call is familiar with this. This is the ticket queue. We also have the self-service portal. If you're on an older UI, of course, the way that you would access the self-service portal is by clicking your name on the left-hand side and clicking this button right here in order to open up that interface. Now, generative AI, we've been doing that, I would say, I think it's almost 2 years now, or one and a half. That's the ability to provide answers back to our end users or to our admins to help them with their day. So examples of what that might look like. A user might come into the self-service portal and they've got a Zoom meeting in no time at all. They need to connect to their VPN. They could submit a ticket, but they understand that's going to take some time, so they would need to walk over to somebody. The good thing is the AI is always on. It's always there, whether it was late at night or the IT department was busy or off at lunch. I can come in here and say how to connect to VPN. Spelling mistakes, no problem there. It's going to produce an answer, and not just a nothing burger answer, but something that is built by your organization. It understands, hey, I know that you use FortiClient. Make sure that you've downloaded it first. Then you're going to need to configure these particular settings, add a connection, fill in the remote gateway, the customized port, and then click to save that VPN connection. So with these instructions, in maybe 2 minutes time, I can resolve my own issue. On top of that, I can upvote it. I can say, thank you, this is awesome. And that will instruct for future conversations, making sure that, maybe if this was too long and I gave that feedback, that would be taken into account. And from the admin side, we can always review these interactions as well and see which ones were high, which ones were low, and make sure that the chatbot is constantly being iterated on and that it's giving the right responses back. Now, if this did not resolve my issue, let's just say I had slow Wi-Fi. Additionally, I always have that ability at the end. If this does give me some good options here, like switching my network from SysAid Super Speedy 5G to SysAid 1.2, or using this network instead of another network, I always have that ability at the end there to either conversationally or just through one click, create a ticket. And AI, this is less generative and actually more agentic, will take the entire conversation, whether it was a quick back and forth or a longer conversation that it had with the bot, and it will create that incident on the person's behalf. So from a form perspective, they don't have to fill in a lot of information. They don't need to select dropdowns. It understands who they are, what sort of issue they're facing, and it will create that issue and categorize it correctly as well. So definitely a great tool for the users to use. I will also mention that this is available through email as well. So it can categorize the emails that come in. It can respond via email as well and tell them, hey, you submitted a ticket via email. Until somebody picks it up, here's some advice that you might want to follow, like switching your network. And we also have this available through Teams as well, which I won't be showing today, but certainly something that I show off in my other sessions as well. So that's generative. Agentic for a user might be something where it actually takes action. So rather than telling you, hey, go ahead and perform these steps, agentic is more of, hey, I know exactly what to do and I'm going to do it for you. So if I come in here and I say, forgot my password, then rather than tell me, hey, this is where a link that you should follow to go and set this up, it's going to ask me, hey, how would you like your password reset? I know who you are because you've authenticated into the system via SSO or whatever means, but you've forgotten your password. You forgot what it actually was. Would you prefer to receive that reset code via text, voice call? Might send me a temporary password and away I go. So that could be a really good way of utilizing agentic. We're going to get into a lot more of agentic a little bit later and how much time saving it will provide you. But from the end user side, I think that we've demonstrated what generative AI can do. Use your information that you set up within the system that exists within this data pool here, and use your past tickets, your knowledge base, your documents that you've uploaded, preferred websites, and even sources like SharePoint in order to correctly answer the questions and send the user on their way, freeing up a lot of your IT's time, but also speeding up the time to resolve. Now, generative AI for our agents is a little bit different. The whole point is to level up everybody within your organization. So I might pick up that slow Wi-Fi issue that was submitted by Jasmine a little bit ago. She mentioned her Wi-Fi is slow. I'm starting to work on this ticket. I'll go over here and move it into open. But I don't know how to resolve this ticket. And I know that the network admin is off right now. I'm covering for him. So what am I going to do here? I might go and tap my boss on the shoulder. I might go talk to a colleague and see. I might go to our knowledge base and search up information on how we resolved these issues in the past. But instead of doing that, it would be a lot easier if I just open up an interface on the left-hand side here, the AI chatbot, in order for it to generate a response on my behalf. So I'll say, hey, how have we resolved this issue in the past? And essentially, it's doing the exact same thing it would necessarily do with the end user chatbot. It's going through all of your information to provide that experience back to the admin who's resolving this ticket and speed them up as well. So on this ticket 4456, the connectivity was resolved by switching the network from 123 to super speedy 5G. Same thing goes for 4457. So one thing I might do is I might click through this ticket, understand it a little bit better. I just want to verify that the information is correct. And I can see that, there was a conversation where this person said, hey, can you try switching your network from this to this? The person said yes. The issue was closed quite quickly. So I'm going to go back to my ticket and I agree that this is the way to move forward. So I'll just say, hey, this is the answer. This is how we can resolve it. And I can move on to another ticket. And that's saved me a fair bit of time. Now, I'm just going to pull up the past conversation. So in introducing the interface, you of course have the ability to have a chat with it, start a new chat, but I can also pull up past conversations here and just say, please write up a response for this user. It writes up a, very formal response on my behalf, no spelling errors, I'm good to go. If this is something that I struggle with as well, I can always use that. Maybe I'll go into the messaging area here, provide that response back. And on top of that, I can even use these AI functionalities down here, which are generative AI, in order to make my response more formal, shorten it, improve it, make it more casual. So now, of course, this is very formal. Dear Jasmine, thank you for your inquiry regarding the slow Wi-Fi connectivity issue. Based on our experience with similar cases, we should suggest that you switch your Wi-Fi network from X to X. And I'm going to send that message, move this ticket into awaiting user response. And move off until they respond and they confirm that this has resolved their issue. Now, that is generative AI. Agentic AI is, rather than it telling an admin, hey, these are the steps that you should use to resolve this, it's going to actually perform those steps on your behalf. So I'm going to use an onboarding ticket as an example because I think that a lot of people on this call obviously deal with onboardings on a regular basis. I'll enter this ticket here. And this one's a little bit different. We've got an onboarding here for Jason Spezza, the finance director. This is his manager. We've collected both the approvals that are necessary in order to begin working on this ticket. And now it's my turn as an IT person. I need to jump in here and create their AD account. Now, of course, I could go ahead and follow the instructions that have been left right here. But instead, I'm actually going to speed up my day. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do a day in the life of, right now, I'm an IT technician. We'll move on to the day in the life of an IT manager in some time. And at the very end, I'm going to tally all the time that was saved by using these agentic actions. So it can take some time to go and create that AD account. But in this case, I'm going to open up my toolbox of agentic actions here and just quickly scroll through the list here to give you an idea. This was on a slide that was shown earlier by Cindy. But we've got a lot of pre-built ones that you guys can make use of. Create an Azure AD user. Let's look for another tool. BitLocker, get a recovery key. Confluence data pool sync. So if you wanted to sync in information to your AI from Confluence, that might be something that you want to do. Generate knowledge base articles on a ticket, Intune, maybe update a device's owner at some point in time. That might be something that we do as part of an onboarding, is assign them a laptop. But again, we're going to go back up here and we are going to save us some time by just saying create an ID user, then send a Slack notification to whoever has submitted this ticket in the first place. And while the AI thinks here, I'm just going to get my Slack ready on the side here to show that off to you as well.
Alex, I have a question while we're waiting.
Of course.
Just put my camera on. I know that this is sometimes like a common question is, if your Azure AD user is being updated and you're obviously doing it from SysAid, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So what are the security implications? Is there a security risk? Could you describe that a little bit in more detail?
Sure. So you have full control over the user that's been created. I think this would also be something that'd be great for Hilly to answer. But you have full control over what the code that actually runs. And what we use is we use an app permission in order to connect to Graph API. So you determine what exactly it can or cannot do within your Azure AD environment, making sure that it has the least permissions necessary, or the I'm just blanking on what that exactly is. At least the right amount of permissions, so it takes the right actions within AD, but not other things as well. We'll go into this a little bit later, but not everybody has access to every tool within this toolbox as well. So if there is one that you don't want to be, necessarily, you don't want your tier ones to be going and creating AD users, that might be something that's left for the tier twos in order to activate instead.
Sounds good. Thanks, Alex.
No problem at all. Now, typically it would actually give me a response back. So we're just going to run this one more time, and I'm just going to make sure that I would like it to create the user and also provide back the user's name and their UPN, because that's something that typically it would do. I think there might be with the Slack user an issue on that one. There we go. So, and this is what a successful test would look like. Jason Spezza 50 has been created. This is their name. This is their job position. And all that information was basically just pulled off of the ticket right here. I didn't need to provide it back. The AI contextually knows using generative AI that that information exists, and using Agentic AI, it can actually perform that action on your behalf. Now, my job's not done. I still need to add them to the finance group because they're the finance director in AD. So I'll say, please also add this user. Please add this user to the finance group in Azure AD. So I don't always have to open up that / toolbox that I had introduced a little bit earlier. I can also conversationally ask for something, and the AI will say, do we have an AI agent that will help us here? There is one that controls group membership if I open up this box here. So of course I could have searched for that. But if you ask for something conversationally, it should understand which one to use, as long as there aren't multiple that could be used in that particular situation, in which case it would say, well, which flavor of group membership are you trying to use here, which agentic action? On top of that, I also need to assign this person some licensing. So I'll say, what licenses are available for this user? Again, demonstrating the fact that conversationally we can bring this information up as well. I could look for /get licenses, I believe is the one. Let's search for licenses instead. There we go. Get licenses from Microsoft 365, or identify license shortage is another one as well, where it tells me, oh, couldn't identify this person in the system. So I will just be a little bit more direct. This is the user. What licenses are available in Office 365? Okay, so, and it looks like we've got an issue with this particular agent right now, but typically it would list out the license that are available to me at this time. I would say, hey, please assign this to this user. And again, we've saved a lot of time just by creating the user, adding them to the correct groups, providing them with the right licensing, and then moving on. And at that point, IT's done their tasks. Beyond imaging hardware, I've provided the software, I've created the AD account, I've added them to the correct groups, and something that might have taken me 20 minutes to resolve has now been boiled down to maybe 3 agentic actions that you take that you just have a conversation with the AI at the side of a ticket. Okay. Quickly just double checking the chat here. Looks like we are good. It is called Entra now and not Azure. Yes, we're getting a little, yeah, we're, maybe that's something that we need to update within our bot, our side bot there, but glad that at least you could follow along. Okay. The next one is we've kind of gone through the life of an IT technician working on a ticket, how agentic actions speed up their day. Just double checking this here. So they're more concerned about solving tickets fast, keeping their end users happy, keeping their NPS scores high, so that to their IT manager, they say, hey, look, I'm doing a great job here. And, people don't like doing a bad job. They certainly like to be able to resolve lots of tickets. This is that tool to breeze past the things in their day that are repetitive and keep it snappy. Now, the next situation that I want to talk about is the day in the life of an IT manager. Now, they're concerned about different things. They're concerned about, are our tickets resolved on time? Are there larger problems across our organization that should be prioritized? Is our knowledge base sufficient? And we have AI agents that are built into this environment that we can demonstrate for you here. So now it's the first thing in the morning. I'm an IT manager. The first thing that I want to do is my boss has messaged me and he wants to know what sort of tickets have been submitted over the last 2 weeks. And of course, I might have already created a report within SysAid. But what would be even faster, because it's just a quick question, is just opening up the AI on the side here. Within this interface, of course, I've mentioned before, just giving you a little tour. I can open up past conversations. I can open up that agentic actions and add attachments. But another thing I can do is just start a fresh conversation here. So I'm going to start a fresh one, and I'm going to say something along the lines of category trends. So running this AI agent, but then also providing some context. My boss had asked me over the past 2 weeks. So I'm going to say over the last 2 weeks. So not only is it running an AI agent, but it's also providing some filters on top of that as well to provide me with the right information. So an action that might take me, 10 minutes or something along those lines to create a report, make sure it's fine, get it in the right format. I've now not only got the breakdown on the categories, but it's even provided some insights. So I'm really, going the extra mile with my boss. He doesn't necessarily need to know that it was an agentic AI that helped me out, but the network category has doubled in ticket count over the previous 2 weeks. The most common category is application. These are the top 3 categories. We've got period comparisons, even third level categories, which ones are most common. But I've got a lot of information here that I can then send to that person, and I'm off with my day. The next thing that I'm concerned about is maybe I've been off for the past, I was off on Thursday, Friday. I want to make sure that any tickets over the last 3 or so days that are close to breaching their SLA are being met. So I could follow through, I could go through this list one by one and see each and every individual ticket. I can see that some of these are 2 days out from breaching, some of them are not, some of them are already priority 1. But I'm going to run an AI agent, and I'll describe what this agent is doing while it runs. /SLA, last 3 days. So what this AI agent is going to do is actually a few things, and I'd like to demonstrate that because these AI agents might be, it does something within Azure AD, then it does something in Workday, then it does something in Slack, all rolled into one. This one in particular is going to go through the tickets of the past 3 days, and you're about to see the priority flip on the left-hand side here. Anything that is within 48 hours of breaching, it is going to escalate that ticket to priority 1, and it's going to send a personalized message to whoever's working on that ticket, like Johnny Bravo, and let that person know, hey, we looked over the tickets. This is one that we're worried is going to breach. Please prioritize this in the morning. So if I've logged in the morning and I've run this agent, now all of my agents like Johnny Bravo get a list of tickets that we want them to work on first. Now, I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but you can even schedule this agent to run so that you don't have to come in here every morning. run that agent and escalate the priority and let these people know, it will automatically run every morning and find those tickets and escalate to those individuals. So that's
Alex,
a really cool part of this. Yeah,
sorry to interrupt you because this is absolutely amazing.
sure.
I wanted to ask you, because I saw on your screen your priority, everything was changing to priority one.
hmm
Is this specific pre-built agent specifically only to escalate to priority one, or how do we, maybe it needs to just be in priority two? Um,
hmm
are there different agents, or how does it work? And I actually genuinely, I do not know the
No, of
answers.
course. Let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm actually going to show you a little, we're going to come back to this in a little bit, but all of these agents that I'm running, you have a center to build them all. So if I click on the three dots here, these are all the settings that you use to control the AI. I get into these deeply in my pardon me, workshop settings, sessions. But here are the automations that can run, like creating a user with an AD. Now, if I want to edit this, if I want it to escalate to priority 2 versus priority 3, I, of course, if I have the coding knowledge, could go into the backend code, analyze what's in here, and make the change. But we want to make it as easy as possible for our end users. So instead of using that method of editing the code, I would prefer it to escalate to priority 2 instead. I'm just going to go in here and conversationally tell it what I want it to do. So I'll say something along the lines of, the user that's created his first name, last name. We saw that before with Jason Spezza 50. I'm going to say, please edit this agent so that the user created is first initial .lastname.com. So I don't need to have that coding knowledge. It's going to make those changes on my behalf. And we have pre-builts, but then you can take a pre-built and build on top of it. So if you don't like the way our pre-built works, the way it says like first name, last name, all you need to do is tell the agent, I actually want you to be a little bit different. I want the password complexity to be this because that is required within our organization. And it's going to generate that agent code for us. And we'll come back to it a little bit later. But these agents can be your own. You can customize them. And yeah, it works pretty quickly. So now this is working. I can, of course, run a test. I'll come back to that a little bit later. But that is how you might have it escalate to tier 2 instead. Or instead of sending an email to the user letting them know these are the tickets you should work on this morning, maybe we send a Teams message or a Slack message instead.
Thanks, Alex. So
Now,
in my
my
case with the
pleasure. Yeah.
question, sorry. So in my case with the question, I would go into the AI builder side, clone one of the agents, and then make the relevant change. And I'm not such a big
Mhm.
coder. You said I don't need to know all of the coding, right?
No, you don't need to know all the coding. Yeah, you would just simply go to one that you like, you'll clone it, and then you'll make your changes to it so that you have something secure and then something that maybe you're testing on the back end and you're not publishing it just yet.
Amazing. Thanks, Alex.
No problem. And yeah, that goes for from a security perspective. I know that there was a chat that came in. You limit who has access to these, but you also have a monitoring area to see who ran which agent at which time. So if somebody were to accidentally abuse one of those and make a change to it and escalate the priority, first of all, they shouldn't be able to do that because you've provided these functionalities to only the right people. But you also have the ability to go back and monitor and see who ran what if there needs to be something done like that. And they will also be updating the tickets as well, so you'll see when an AI agent has run on a machine. Or sorry, run on a machine, run on a ticket. Now, that saved me a bit of time there. I didn't have to go through and escalate each and every ticket and talk to Alex Contreras, then talk to Erica, and then talk to Johnny Bravo and tell them these are the tickets I'm interested in escalating. Definitely saved me a bit of time there. The next one that we're going to be running is another one that it's been hard for organizations in the past to manage problem or get deeply into problem management, because problem management is just a tough one to start with. You can build a problem management workflow, but it always is hard to get started with that first bit, which is, do we have a problem within our system? So I need to, maybe download all my tickets, understand, run a report, and see, wow, there's been a lot of X issues in the last little while at this particular location. So we're going to have AI do the work for us rather than me going through the tickets each one by one and finding an issue that I think might exist and maybe even missing some tickets that could be related. I'm going to use the AI, creating a new conversation here to detect some problems within our system last 1.5 weeks. So now what this is doing is it's going through, it's looking at the location, the users, the timing in which tickets were submitted, the titles, the descriptions, and the notes and messages that were left on these tickets to see, are there some repeats? Are there some things that keep on coming up that we should address as a larger problem and investigate further? And when it runs, it should provide me with, 1 to 3 different clusters that it will suggest to me this might be a problem. And then it's up to me to determine, is this something that we could find? So in this case, actually, it identified 5 clusters. 3 of them were shown to be relevant. So those are the 3 that will be shown here. I can always ask for the 5. But you can see here, the first cluster that was identified is that there's a lot of people who have Microsoft Office Suite randomly crashing. Here are the tickets here, the suggested keywords, the reason that these have been clustered. This one here, monitor flickering, I don't really see that. There's definitely reason that these would be clustered, but I don't see that as a larger problem to be investigated. And then this one here, definitely something that I want to be investigated as well. So at the bottom here, I'll just say, please create a problem or cluster 1 using, and then I'll open up my / function, search for problem. And I want to create a problem with related incidents and make the problem the parent ticket as well. So on the left-hand side, you're about to see a new ticket appear. It's going to, 1, create the problem ticket for the related incidents. It's going to relate all of those incidents underneath it. So we've saved a lot of time in 1, finding the issues, 2, creating the problem ticket, 3, relating those incidents back to the problem. It's all handled all at once. And that Microsoft Random Suite crashes has now been created. And I'll click into that ticket to show you what's next once my AI finishes up doing its job. But we give it a little bit of credit because it definitely saved me a bit of time there. Not only actually did it provide the linking and the creation, but it also assigns the impact. How many people are affected? What is the urgency? So I can, and it asks me, would I like to assign this problem to a specific team or user? So I'll open up that problem now and investigate it a little bit further. Oh, sorry, I clicked into the wrong one.
This being investigated, just one of the questions I see from Joseph Augustine. What are the limitations for investigating the problem from an incident? How many incidents are checked? 500, 1,000, 5,000? Is there a limitation?
I don't think that there's a limitation. Obviously, it'll take longer, but I think Helly could answer that one. I do know that I set the limit there. So if I wanted to say 5 weeks, it's possible that I could go back to that many number of tickets. But since we have Haley here, I think that she's the best person to answer on that one.
Hi everyone. Thank you. So yes, Alex, exactly that. You can define how many active tickets. Since this agent is looking at your active tickets, you can define from the agent builder how many tickets it will have access to, and then it will run. And of course, the more tickets it needs to digest, it will take a bit longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just seeing some questions on the side here. Webster, how many tickets contain a specific word? You could create an agent for that, for sure. It's possible that you could also do it from generatively, or there might be an agent that already actually covers that use case, but just something that you could be aware of. And yeah, George, impressive, even though I spelt create wrong. Yeah, my spelling skills and the AI's on on trial here, not my typing today. But impressive that it understood what I was trying to say, for sure. I've made a couple spelling mistakes. So now we'll click into that problem ticket because there's also agentic actions that I want to show off here as well. So let's just say that I created a problem ticket from scratch. I can actually use an AI agent to say what incidents exist within the system that are related to this, and it will do a check and say, hey, I think you should relate these incidents as well. So that's what that first step of the problem is when you create a ticket. I can skip this one because everything's already been logged to this problem. It was created agentically. But I could always open up the AI on the side here and ask it, are there tickets or incidents out there that should be linked to this that aren't linked already? So I'll complete this task. And now the next step that I'm going to do here that's going to save me a little bit of time is service expert identification or swarming. So typically with a problem, you want to assemble a crack team of the best people to deal with this type of issue. So what I'm going to do here is it's going to say run the swarm group agent. It's going to create a Slack group of all the best people, and it's going to assign that owner. So I'm going to click on swarm here. And we have an internal database that basically tallies how good are people at different types of issues. So if we have somebody who's really good at SAP issues and somebody who's really good at Office issues, that'll essentially be compiled and it will tell me these are the best people to be working on this. And you can see here, because the title and the description, these are the recommended expertise areas: Office suite support and application troubleshooting. And because John is the best person to deal with this, he's got expertise in both Office suite support and application troubleshooting, he should be the problem owner. So I'm going to type in this case, my own name. Well, not my own name, but the person I'm logged in as. And we are going to create that Slack channel as well. Now, in this case, it looks like it wasn't able to create that Slack channel, but generally I would also add the Slack channel in here as well. And automatically, whoever was part of this group right here, if there was multiple people, they would all be added to that Slack channel as somewhat of a war room. So even from the ticket, if I were to refresh this ticket right here, after this, I complete my step. If I scroll down, the swarm group would be automatically added here in case somebody else needed to know. And of course, that would be captured within the journey as well. So, the swarm ownership was adjusted, the problem was created. Normally it would add, if the Slack channel was created, in this case it wasn't, it would also have been added in the journey here. Now, the reason I think the Slack channel one didn't work is because John Smith doesn't actually exist within my Slack environment, but that's something that I'll address for future presentations. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this problem with John Smith, who's actually me in this case, and I'm going to move on. I feel that our knowledge base is lacking. I felt that because I ran that category report earlier, and I feel that there's certain areas that we should be improving upon. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look up something along the lines of find candidates for a new KB article. Actually, I'm going to use the agent, find candidates for a new KB article, last 2 weeks. And it's going to go through all of my tickets and determine, are there issues that we don't have knowledge base information for? So, and it will suggest which tickets I might enter. And then from there, we're actually going to enter the ticket, we're going to solve it, and then just run an agent to create a knowledge base on our behalf. Joseph, Slack be replaced with Teams. Yes, if an AI connection is created with Teams, then that is possible. Okay. 82 tickets were analyzed. Issue groups identified were 11. The time period was limited to the last 14 days. We'll just wait for this to open up. Here we are. So Microsoft Office random crashes. I've already determined that that's not something that requires a knowledge base article. It actually requires a problem. So because of my knowledge, I can move past that one. VPN knowledge base disconnecting, certainly something I could do. I'm actually going to look at this account unlocking, because that's definitely something that I feel is self-servable. And if we don't have a knowledge base for it, it's something that's a miss on our part. So I'm going to jump into this ticket here. Please unlock my account. And I'm just going to solve this ticket like I would a normal admin. I'll say, hi, change the user to somebody different. Hi, Aaron. You have a desktop icon or desktop shortcut to unlock your account on your desktop. All computers have this at our organization. That shortcut is also made available on the login screen. And then just quickly copy that because I'm going to use that in a second. Share that with the request user so that they receive a copy of it. User responds back. They're really happy. So it's time for me to close out this ticket. So I'm going to go to the resolution status. It's closed. It's a permanent resolve. I'll put in the solution again here again, share that with the request user, and put it into the resolution area as well. Because with my automation, the resolution is actually the required area to build a knowledge base. And for those that don't know, solution is usually user-facing. Resolution is more of an internal helper. This is how you do things. It isn't exposed to the end user for the most part. Now that I've resolved this ticket and I did a bang up job, I'm going to go in and run the KB article creation generated for this ticket. So rather than me having to write up a bunch and make it look very professional and usable in the future, I'm just going to run this agent and have it do it on my behalf. And then once it's created, we'll follow in, we'll analyze that knowledge base article, make sure that it used the information that I provided here in the ticket. And that will be the end. Then we'll tally how much time I saved in both personas, both the IT technician who is working on the onboarding and also the IT manager. Okay, how to unlock a locked user account using the desktop shortcut. So I'm going to go into our knowledge base here, search for that article. Here's the article here. And you can see it's nice and definitely written out quite nicely. I imagine it also used external sources in order to enhance this. But it says on all organization managed computers, there's a pre-configured desktop shortcut labeled unlock my account. You can also do that from I imagine, if the user is unable to log in, the same shortcut is also available on the login screen. So think about how that affects everything that we've done so far. Now the admins can access that information. If they don't know, end users who are coming in through the chatbot on this side of things, if they need to know about how to unlock their account, they could potentially come in here and ask that same question. They could send it in through email and get that response as well. And that pretty much summarizes it. Now we'll tally the time that was saved. And we generated the time saved basically through our own systems and AI and trying to understand how long does it typically take at most organizations in order to do these steps. So for the first persona, just going through an onboarding ticket might take 10 minutes to create a user within Azure Active Directory and make sure all the information is right. And also there might be some mistakes in there as well. If we get the user's name wrong, we need to come back to it later. Best to have it done automatically. Then we've got the assign group membership, might take another 5 minutes, and check and assign available licenses might take another 7 minutes. So 22 minutes saved on potentially it looked like I think I spent like about 5 minutes on that ticket. Then we've got the other side, which is a little bit more heavy weighted, the IT manager who came in and spent his morning running AI agents. Creating a report to analyze category trends might take 12 minutes. And I won't go through each and every one of these because time-wise, I want to make sure that we have time at the end for Cindy to talk about next steps and things of that nature as well. But in general, over the 20-minute demo that I ran with you guys, we saved about 81 minutes. So definitely a lot of time to be saved as long as you have the right pieces in place. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about here is talking about the ability to control and make sure that only the right people have access to the right agents. So in order to do that, I already showed you how you can edit existing agents and make them run a little bit differently. One thing that I will show off to you actually before we go any further is just proof that when I made it change to the AI agent earlier, that it did take effect. So I'm going to take that same ticket, 5375. Please test with 5375. Now the change that I had made to this agent was I wanted it to be first initial dot last name instead of first name dot last name. So if the test runs successfully, which hopefully it does in this case, it will create a user that is J Spezza instead of Jason Spezza. And once I've run a successful test on an agent that I'm working on, then I can publish it and make it available to other people as well. Yeah, in this case, unfortunately, I did not receive another a successful test, so I would need to follow up and just let it know that the code needs to be adjusted again. But in this case, we're going to move past that in the interest of time, and I'm just going to quickly show you how you can lock it down to certain people. The data pool is basically a source of everything that the AI knows. But what are we externalizing as well? So on the user chatbot, this is the user chatbot we're looking at. They only have access to the ability to reset their own password, do web search with Perplexity, and do a self-service asset hardware diagnostic. Now, if I go to the admin side, they have a lot more agents that they can run. But if I only want agents to be limited to a certain area, because this is the one that everybody has access to, I'll create a new data set of AI agents, call this only for tier 2. I'll limit the access to that tier 2 group. And all that's left for me to do is add the AI agents to it. So I only want them to be able to create users within Azure AD. Therefore, somebody who comes in who's not a member of that group, I remove it from this general box over here. They no longer have access, and only the tier 2 people will have access to that too. So just creating multiple data sets of who has access to what. And with that, bit of an abrupt ending there, guys, but I'm going to pass it back to Cindy and make sure that we have enough time to answer questions as well.
Amazing. Alex, thank you so much. That was
my pleasure.
Absolutely wow. I learned a lot from that session as well. So I really, really appreciate it. And thank you for being my guest speaker. Okay, so we don't actually have that much time left. So there's just one or two things. And of course, my very exciting thing that I wanted to share. So first and foremost, I do want to share that SysAid has been named the Company of the Year. It's a silver winner in 2025 for the Globee Awards. For AI. It's one of the world's top data-driven business awards. Out of 907 nominations and over 383,000 scores submitted by industry experts, the recognition highlights our relentless drive to push the boundaries of what AI can do. So yeah, I have to say I'm so proud to be working at SysAid because we are taking AI and just to the next level. And here is another award that you're going to see. We also won the Generative AI Product of the Year award submission as well. That was in 2024. Okay, so thank you everyone for your comments about Alex. He's absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad that you joined me today, Alex. So what I wanted to do is I'd love to invite you to join the Cindy Lounge. This is a dedicated Slack channel where we keep the conversation going after the Cindy show. So what it is, it's a casual space for follow-up Q&A with myself and product experts like Hilly and Alex, focused on the topics we cover in the show. I just want to let you know that this isn't a support or sales channel. It's really about open discussion, sharing insights, and connecting with other SysAid users. So I'm going to post the link in the chat now. It will only be live for now once a week on a Thursday at 9 a.m. EST or 3 p.m. Central Time to answer your questions. And as we gauge popularity and so forth, this is how we will, and then we'll obviously have the lounge open, but you do need to have a Slack channel. And let me just go in here because I just want to copy the link and post it in the chat. If you'd like to join, please click on this link. If you would like us to send you an invitation, I do have one of my polls. I'm going to try launch a poll. If it's not the right one, then I'm just going to have to ignore it. Hang on a second. No. No. Hang on. Wait a second, guys. Oh, here it is. Okay, so would you like to receive an invitation from myself to become part of the Cindy's Lounge? If you'd like to be part, please just type in your email address. I'm going to let this go for a minute or two because that's super important. And while you're adding your email addresses to join my lounge, I do want to let you know that we do have a referral program. This is, we always want references, but it's not for references, specifically for referrals. So this would specifically help out our acquisition, our sales team. If you do refer a friend, you earn rewards. You get $25 if you refer a friend to purchase SysAid. If they attend a demo, then you get a further $50. And if they become a SysAid customer, you get $750. So a total of $825. So I just wanted to put it out there. Yeah. So from my side, what I can say is thank you so much for joining. Again, to my chat moderators, Hilly, thank you so much to my team as well. And Alex, of course, to you. And I guess, and everybody else who joined today. Please feel free to join our next Cindy show. I'm going to post the link in the chat before we end off. So just give me 1 minute. I'm going to send a link for our landing page, unless one of my team have got access to it very quickly. If not, wait a second. Why can't I find that? Here we go. Here's the landing page. Please feel free to join our next one over here. There's the link to the landing page. And that's it. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's always a pleasure. And stay cool, not too warm. And thanks, everyone. Bye for now.